Why you think your brains are splattered on the concrete all the time? We're trying to prevent that for you, because that's the ultimate goal of every young black man who's ever came out of his mama's legs is death. But everybody else is scared to tell you something. They're scared to tell you when you're wrong. You know why? Give me that Isaiah 3. All the grown-ups out here are scared to tell you young brothers what you're doing wrong. But that's why the elder men need to get with us so we can train you to be stronger than what you've become. Where our children are our oppressors.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Who you think is oppressing you, black and Latino man? That young black man. That's the one you gotta worry about to rob you, to cheat you, to steal from you, to hate you, because he was trained to hate by his slave master. Read it again.
As for my people, children are their oppressors.
You got a question? What's your question?
Yeah, I just wanted to know why were Africans practicing Islam in West Africa?
Why was Africans practicing Islam in Africa? I'm gonna show you real fast. Let me finish this real quick. Then give me Joel 3 and 2. But come on.
As for my people.
Be patient with me though, because I'm gonna finish this point and then I'm gonna, what's up, face? I'm gonna get right to yours.
As for my people, children are their oppressors.
But we're gonna think about that word oppression, right? Come on.
And women rule over them.
Because that's the one who controls the household. It's Big Mama or Mama. It's not the black man, because the black man has been diminished to the girlfriend or the wife. Right. That's the problem with us. That's why we're so emotional. That's why we really, instead of talking out an issue with another brother, we're quick to kill a brother. Give me that, Joel. Because the brother had a good question. He says, why was so many Africans, right? Can you repeat that? Come here, bro. Let me get you on the mic so everybody can hear your question.
No, I wanted to know why were
Don't step on the stand. Look. Sorry, I'll reach over.
Why were so many Africans practicing Islam in West Africa?
Okay, you got it?
The book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 2. Bring it up. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there from my people and from my heritage, Israel.
So God is making a prophecy. He's saying that in the end days, which is now, that all the nations are going to be gathering in the valley of decision over there in the Middle East, and they're waging war with one another. And God is going to judge everybody there. Why? Because that's where our homeland is, right? Come on.
Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
So now he's talking about the people that held us in oppression or slavery, who departed, who scattered us amongst all the nations, meaning they sent you to Russia, they sent you to North, South, Central America, they sent you to China, they sent you to Japan, the Philippines, all over the world, your people are there, and it's a byproduct of slavery, right? Right? See, because a lot of times many of our people think that the white man is the only cause of stuff. We don't take a big honor in people speaking English before. We think about when we spoke Arabic, right? We think about when we had Arabic customs. It's no more different than when we had white man custom, because both of them are oppressor. Now watch.
And they have cast lots for my people.
You know what it means to cast lots? It means that these nations are oppressors. They bid it for us. They placed us on auction slave blocks. They put yokes of iron upon our necks, chained us up, and sold us to many nations, right? But you only learned a few things, a few details about your oppression. Come on.
And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot.
All right. Hold on, give me some time. They made boys breeders. They turned us into whores, right? And I'm gonna give you an example. Pit bulls, what are they known for?
Fighting.
Fighting. But how long ago was it that they were created? that they were made, that they were bred. They were bred out of terriers into the Spud McKenzie dog, and then there's like 7 different versions of them. But it's over like 200 years ago, right? They were bred for the purpose of fighting. They still have that characteristic in them 200 years later. You were bred to be a whore. You were bred to breed with your mother, your sister, your daughter, your nieces, your cousins, indiscriminately. They didn't care. As long as they had product, as long as they had more slaves to work their plantations, right? Now we get into the meat of it. That's why black people act the way they act now, especially black men. We learn how to have sex before we learn how to get a job. Little babies, little girls nowadays learn how to twerk before they're potty trained.
Right.
You understand that? Come on.
And have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine.
Orgies. Think about it. The bad bee syndrome, the Atlanta housewife syndrome, the up in the club black woman syndrome, the loudmouth always showing her ass type of syndrome.
Yes.
What do you think that wine is? That wine is orgies. That wine is reveling inside the bars in the club.
Yes.
Come on.
That they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
See, you think because we lived in Africa and we were transported from Africa that we're Africans. But there's a lot of people on the planet that's dark skinned, right?
Yes.
Would they claim you and say, oh, we're the same race?
No.
There's some people, East Indians are darker than both, and I'm light skinned compared to everybody else. But there's East Indians that's darker than both of y'all. Would they say they're the same kind of black as you?
No.
Now, let's look at the Africans, the true Africans. Do they say that they're you?
No.
Do they say that they're you?
No.
They don't even like you.
At all.
Why? Now you're getting to the meat of it. This is the reason why they were able to sell you, because you're not an African, you're an Israelite. Now, we got records of you getting off the slave ship being Israelite, okay? The first people that ever came here as slaves were not from Africa. They were from Spain and Portugal. They were known to be Jews. That's why you have words like Anthony, Antonio, black, brown, brownman, brownlee. These are all Moorish variations of your dark skin. Come on.
Yes, bro.
And they have cast lots for my people.
Because the Moors wasn't just Arabs. Guess what the Moors were? The Moors were Israelites that followed Christianity, that followed Judaism, and followed Islam. But what we're trying to get to is how we became followers of Islam in the first place. Now watch.
And have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Those are the Africans, come on.
And all the coast of Palestine.
And all the coast of Palestine, meaning the Palestinians. That's the Arabs. So you got the Africans and you have the Arabs. Come on.
Yea, what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye will recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
Now you're going to be patient with me, right? Because this is like a suspense thriller. We don't want to get to the point immediately. We want to cause scenes that cause we want to cause scenes that cause elevated adrenaline. We want you to be at the edge of your seat, right? So it says you're gonna require a recompense. This is what God is asking Tyre and Zidon, the Africans and the coast of Palestine, the Palestinians. He's saying you're going to recompense me. Recompense means pay me back for something, meaning they want to get payback. Why do you think these nations want to get payback at God? Now, are their arms long enough to box with God?
No.
So what's the best way of getting at God if you can't get to him?
Disrespect.
Okay, how?
God now following his word.
According to the Bible, is there a people that's God's people?
Yes.
Okay, so let's bring bring it on the physical realm. If they can't get at God physically, what's the next best thing? To get at his people. So they're going to recompense God's people for something. Give me this in Psalms 83. Now watch this.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
What did he use? What word did he say? I know it's a smiley thing, bro. What you smiling at? You got some good information.
No, well, because like when I was looking at the list here, I was thinking about the Native Americans, and the Native Americans, they enslaved us too while we were in America as well. And other blacks fought other blacks right in order to get their parents out of under the yoke of their slave masters. They had to buy their moms and sisters and brothers to.
So what about the blacks that enslaved blacks or helped the whites to enslave blacks? Like when Denmark Vesey or Nat Turner, any one of them had a rebellion. Who was their nemesis or their enemy in that aspect? No, it was their own people, their own kind. What do we call those types of people today? House niggas. Exactly, brother. So you can't fault the Native Americans for being house Negroes until you fault your own kind for being a house Negro. You ever sell drugs before? You ever have sex with a woman and not marry her? You know what you are? According to God, you're a betrayer of your people. Because you know what that breeds? That breeds adultery. That breeds fornication. That breeds destruction. Now I'm going to show you that. Remind me to go to Hosea. Where's that at? 4:1. Remind me to go there. But hold on. Where we at? Come on.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
A tumult is an angry gathering. Like the United Nations back then, you had all of the caliphs, you had all of the different leaders of Islam, and you had the different leaders of white supremacy having a tumult. Come on.
Lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They who hate thee, though, hate God, lifted up the head, meaning they gain power in the earth. Hold on. We're going to finish that topic first.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
You know what crafty counsel is? To make you think that you were a Muslim the whole time. Crafty counsel was to make you think that God came for everybody. Crafty counsel is when they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to flood the ghettos with crack cocaine and powder cocaine. But because we know the white man snorts cocaine and every other nation snorts cocaine, but black people prefer crack, we're going to sentence them outside the guidelines. We're going to make it so they get stiffer penalties. They're going to go to jail forever compared to the white man who got a kilo of coke makes crack. Coke makes crack.
That's right.
Baking soda is something you find in your daggone shelf, and you add baking soda with crack and now you get more time. Brother, this was diabolical, crafty counsel. Come on.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
You know what it means to consult it against thy hidden ones? Meaning they were in agreement against the people that's hidden even from themselves. They don't know who they are. What's your nationality?
African American.
African American. So how old are you?
I'm 34.
You're older than what your nationality is, because Jesse Jackson coined that phrase in 1987. What were we before that?
Yeah.
Negroes.
Nope. We were Afro-American. Why was you degraded like that and named after a hairstyle? They might as well called you braided Americans.
Yeah.
Cornrowed Americans.
Yeah.
What were you that before that? You were black. What were you that before that? Colored. Negro.
Yeah.
Nigger. See, but imagine if you knew how to read during this time and they were calling you nigger, and you knew how to read the Bible, you would see in the Bible that they were calling you nigger, because the word nigger just means black. That's all it meant. But when we're called nigger, that's actually in the Bible. But if you knew how to read and you heard about the slave ships in the Bible, you would be able to associate yourself with the Bible. But this is how you were hidden from yourself. They named you multiple times throughout history.
Yes.
You went from nigger to Negro to colored to African American, Afro-American, black. You're going to be named something else 10 years from now.
truth.
You understand?
Yes.
Come on.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
That's the whole purpose. Cut you off from being a nation.
Yes.
How did they cut you off from being a race? Give me a water, officer. What did that entail? They cut you off from being a nation.
You asked me a question.
It strips you of your identity.
What's your identity? In our case,
Black.
Black or African American.
there's a whole bunch of blacks. Down south, blacks don't do the same thing. Up north, blacks do. We don't eat, well, I never ate a frog. Not saying people up north don't, because black people do all types of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not just a black thing. It's a cultural thing. It's what made us unique from everybody else. It could have been the way we wore our hair, the way our style of dress.
But we had to make a culture coming to America because we were stripped of ours when we came here, so we kind of had to.
We didn't make anything. We were given that. All the way down to your saggy pants and your baseball hat.
Right.
That's baseball hats.
You're saying we didn't create rap?
We didn't create, what rap is something different. That's, that's not,
But that's still a part of our culture though, right?
Yeah, but it's their culture as well. Because everybody that owned the record business, like Rick Rubin, part of Def Jam, is a big integral part of hip hop. So, the Beastie Boys, all of them dudes. But that's neither here nor there. Come on.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
That's the linchpin right there. They want to cut you off from being a nation, meaning they want to hide you from you so you never know who you are.
Yes.
So they'll give you everything. They'll give you Islam. They'll give you Christianity. If you want to beat the drums like the Native Americans do, they'll give you that too. But the day that you say you're an Israelite, then you're going to have a problem. Come on.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So when the Arabs and the white man was coming against us, that was the sole purpose, that the name of Israel would no more be in remembrance. So you can be hidden from yourself, because there's power in your name. You were named after God. Israel means Prince of the Power with God, or Prince of God. Come on.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent.
They, meaning it's more than just the white man. Because people think that we'll say, oh, we're talking about the white man. No, we're talking about every nation. That's
right.
not our nation. We're talking about Africans. Now, our people is in Africa. That's not what I mean. Some of our people are there. But the true Africans, we're talking about them. The true Africans, whoever, we have bloodlines, bro. You either come from Shem, Ham, or Japheth, right? But that would take you coming to class. That would take more time than now. See, we only got a small, our people's attention span is like fleas, man. We can only retain so much information. But that would take you to say, you know what, I want to learn. I want to know, where are y'all located at? Let me come to the school. Let me come with all of my questions. And let's get to the bottom of it. We open those things. Come on.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
Watch who they are. Come on.
They are confederate against thee.
Come on.
The tabernacles of Edom.
So the first people he named is the so-called white man, because that's the biblical name for the white man, is Edom. Come on.
And the Ishmaelites.
Ishmaelites, or Ishmael is the father of what nation?
Israel?
Arabs. That's who their father's name is in the Bible. It's Ishmael. So they're called Ishmaelites. Come on.
Of Moab.
Moab is the Chinese. Come on.
And the Hagarenes.
That's Africans.
Gabal.
More Africans.
And Ammon.
Ammon is the Japanese.
And Amalek.
Amalek is Edom's descendants.
That's white.
He's white as well, but he's a certain kind of branch of them. The fake Jews in Squirrel Hill, that's the Amalekites. That's who they are, biblically. Come on.
The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre.
These are all Africans.
Assur also is joined with them.
Now go back to Joel. I'll remember that, because when we spoke about you not knowing what a real true house Negro was. A house Negro is someone that is a detriment to us as a nation, as a race. So when you talked about the Native Americans who sold blacks into slavery, blacks done the exact same thing. That's how the Native Americans got conquered, by way of the Buffalo Soldiers. Blacks who are enslaved, who the Native Americans was taking you as refugees and allowing you to live with them and marry their children, feed you, and house you. See what I'm saying? Because they don't tell you all of that stuff. But the Buffalo Soldiers helped take them down when they were our brothers.
Damn.
Come on.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Remember that. Tyre and Zidon. Then you can't say one thing about the other. They were enslaved too. Remember, the Native Americans were enslaved 100 years before we even got over here.
Right.
Come on.
In all the coasts of Palestine,
Now watch this.
will ye render me a recompense?
What's the recompense? Because God chose us over everybody else. That's the payback. So they hate God for it. Come on.
If ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
He's talking about these people who robbed us. Come on.
The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem.
That's who you are. The children of Jerusalem is the Haitians, the so-called Haitians, which are the Levites, and the Benjamites, which are the West Indians. And you're from the tribe of Judah, North American blacks. Come on.
The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
That's historical fact, brother. That's historical fact. What's history? History is when the Arabs and the white man, the Arabs and the Africans teamed up to sell us to the white man. Read that again from the top so we don't miss it.
Because, verse 4, yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Africans,
And all the coast of Palestine,
Arabs,
will ye render me a recompense?
you trying to pay me back?
And if ye recompense me,
Let's get it then.
swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
I'm going to destroy you. This is what God is saying. I'm going to destroy you. You want to pay me back because I choose Israel over you? I'm going to return that recompense upon your head. Come on.
Because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
You robbed us. Come on.
The children also of Judah and the children of
The
Jerusalem
blacks.
have ye sold unto the Grecians.
Who's the Grecians?
We're whites.
We're Arabs. No, not
Grecians are white people, bro. Is the Bible just told you that the Africans and the Arabs teamed up together to sell you to the white man? This is before this occurred. This is why you must be hidden from yourself.
Right.
This is why you must never come to the knowledge of who you are.
Wow.
Because you'll change your condition. You know how? Because you will no longer be a fornicator. Give me that in Hosea. You no longer be the fornicator. You no longer be the drug dealer, the drug user, the house Negro, somebody that's detrimental to the quality of life of our people. Come on.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 1.
Bring it up.
Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel.
Because this is how deep fornication goes. Boyfriend and girlfriends go. Come on.
For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
You know what controversy means, right? Yeah, we at odds. This is what God says. I'm at odds with you. Come on.
Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land.
The truth, the mercy, and knowledge is the law, statutes, and commandments. Because the truth, once you know it, like Christ say, the truth has set you free. Meaning what? That you became a slave to your enemies because of your sins. That's what Christ's mission was, right? Okay? And you became a product of oppression based off of your sins. You know the truth, it'll set you free. So that's where we start operating off of the truth. Meaning, I'm not gonna kill my brother because the truth is, that's my brother. I'm not gonna commit adultery against my brother because the truth is, that's my brother. Come on.
By swearing and lying and killing and stealing.
Look, swearing, lying, and killing. Ain't that the black man? Ain't that the Latino man? Ain't that our gang environment? Ain't that our drug-infested community? We always gotta lie to get over. This piece is just, this is the best crack out, man. You should buy this crack. This dope is the best dope out. You should buy this dope. And it's really a damn fake rock or something. We're lying, we're stealing. You beat me out of money, now I gotta come back and get you. You did all type of manner of wickedness to me. I gotta come back and revenge myself against you. That's the code of the streets. Come on.
And stealing and committing adultery.
Read it again.
By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery.
By killing and lying and stealing and committing adultery. Come on.
They break out.
It breaks out in riots, meaning gang violence on gang violence, this neighborhood on this neighborhood, this family on this family. The cookout all crazy now because some type of secret came out. Somebody slept with somebody else's wife or woman or husband or something. Now we have problems in our community. Come on.
And blood toucheth blood.
To the point where you can have multiple murders right here where we stand. Multiple murders right over there. Multiple murders right over there. To the point where blood is touching blood. When it rains, that blood washes down and it touches the body that's over there. You understand? Give me that. Go finish it.
Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 21. For death is come up into our windows.
Oh, wait a minute. Death has come up into our windows. What do you think that's talking about? When a mother is sitting at the kitchen table or at the oven and she's cooking her child dinner, eggs, whatever the case may be, and a bullet flies through the window and kills her innocently. Or somebody sitting in their car that ain't got nothing to do with nothing and shots rang out on Frankstown and innocent babies get killed. That's what it's talking about. Stuff coming through the windows. Come on.
And is enter into our palaces to cut off the children from without and the young men from the streets.
That's what it's talking about. To cut the young men out, snuff their life out in the streets. That's what we're dealing with. This is what we're about. We're here to teach our people how to change their ways.
Yes, brother. Yes,
how to change their ways.
Yes.
Because we become used to our condition. We think this is okay.
Yes.
You know what we live in? We live in our own damn movie.
Yes. True.
We're living a daggone movie, or really, in actuality, it's a sitcom.
True.
Right.
It's all made up of jokes and laughter.
True, brother. True.
Where I tell you to go back to Jeremiah 3 and 2.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and verse 2.
Because we read this before you came up, but it was needed for you to hear these things. We always sat down for other nations to learn from them. When you had the greatest knowledge known to man, you have God on your side. No one else has a God. They think they have a God, but I'm gonna show you. Come on.
Lift up thine eyes unto the high places, and see where thou hast been lain with.
Spiritually molested. That's what lean means. Come on.
In the ways thou hast set for them.
You learn from them.
As the Arabian in the wilderness.
You learn from the Arabians in the wilderness.
And thou hast polluted the land with thy whoredoms.
And you polluted the land. You polluted your mind with the whoredoms of the Arabians. Leviticus 26 and 1 if you ain't done with that.
And with thy wickedness.
And with their wickedness, meaning they have a God for every day of the week prior to Muhammad. Then they consolidated that God into one God called Allah. But let's see what Allah is. Allah is a daggone rock, brother. Allah is not biblical. Allah is not spiritual. Allah is not going to be able to do anything for you because Allah is idolatry. Come on.
The book of Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 1. Ye shall make you no idols, nor graven image.
You would agree with that, right? You shouldn't make no idols or graven images, right?
Right.
See, but I just need to fish inside your mind real quick. What is an idol and a graven image?
Idol, so like a statue? Or...
Like a statue. Good. What you think? Like a statue?
How is this?
Watch this.
Ye shall make you no idols, nor graven image, neither rear ye up a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land.
What is that?
Stone.
What is the Kaaba made out of?
What is what?
The Kaaba made out of.
Stone.
What do they do when they do their pilgrimages
They
to Mecca?
circle the stone,
And then what they do?
pray.
They bow down before it.
Yeah.
And they revere it so much to the point where they gotta kiss it. And people get
All that
trampled.
stuff, yup.
People get trampled
Hold
on
on,
the ground
yup,
if
yup.
they make the mistake of accidentally
falling.
tripping.
Yep.
You're gonna die because the rest of the thousands upon thousands upon
Keep
thousands of
walking.
Arabs
They keep
is gonna
walking.
step on you just
Yep.
to kiss that Kaaba stone.
Yep.
But the Bible's telling you, you don't do those things. You don't do it. Deuteronomy 7. I think it's around 4 or 5. Where you tear it down. Oh, I thought it was in like verse 5. Go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 25. The graven images of their gods.
The graven images, listen, bro, young brother, the graven images of their gods, just like the Arabs' god, the Kaaba, because that's what it was renamed. Like before Allah, it was Allah. It was a female deity, right? Then it got transformed into a male deity, a moon god or goddess. Come on.
The graven images of their gods shall ye burn.
This is why they hate you, because you're talking about their God. So they hate you, they enslave you. Why? Because they're not God's people. They pretending, just like the white man pretends to be God's people. Oh, we're holy. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna sit with our Arab garments on in a tent, getting off the camel. We're gonna have tea together and we're gonna talk about the Prophet Muhammad. Muhammad's not a prophet for you.
Now they will see the true men of God. We are not black men, we are the Israelites. Take care of our wives. And our children too. And our children too. We have repented. How are you? People want to know, who's the king?
Oh, nation of Israel, it's time to return to the Father. Oh, nation of Israel, it's time to return to the Father.
Now why they trying to make it so hard to serve God? And why when I say that I'm a Jew it sound odd? For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sounds wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.